April 26, 1986, a date that would be etched into history forever. 1:23 a.m., a jolt. The world would never be the same. A blinding light pierced the darkness. The earth trembled beneath Pripyat, a city built for progress, now bathed in the eerie glow of a shattered reactor. The night sky was forever changed. Chernobyl nuclear power plant, a symbol of Soviet might and technological prowess, had become a crucible of unimaginable disaster. The pride of a nation turned into its greatest tragedy, the night shift workers caught in the maelstrom of chaos. Sirens wailed, a discordant symphony of panic and confusion. The control room was a scene of utter pandemonium, but Pripyat slept, oblivious to the invisible terror already seeping into the air, into their lives. The city was unaware of the silent enemy that had begun to infiltrate their homes. They would wake to a nightmare that would change their lives forever, leaving an indelible mark on history. Deep within reactor number 4, a cascade of failures, a safety test poorly planned, recklessly executed, human error compounded by design flaws, a lethal combination. The reactor, pushed beyond its limits, surged out of control, a surge of power. Fuel rods overheated, rupturing in a catastrophic chain reaction. The core melting down, and then the explosion, not a nuclear blast, but a monstrous release of radioactive fury. The explosion ripped through the reactor building, spewing a plume of radioactive debris high into the atmosphere, invisible, odorless, silent. A killer disguised as a wisp of cloud carrying its deadly cargo on the wind. The wind carried the invisible poison across Pripyat, across Belarus, across borders, across continents. An insidious enemy leaving its mark on everything it touched. The legacy of Chernobyl, a silent terror, had begun. The evacuation began 36 hours after the explosion. A hurried exodus filled with confusion and fear. Over 100,000 people were forced to abandon their homes, their lives, and their memories. Left behind was a ghost city, a silent testament to the invisible enemy that had struck without warning. The immediate effects were horrific: radiation sickness, burns, and deaths. The hospitals were overwhelmed, but the long-term consequences were even more insidious, creeping into the lives of survivors. Increased cancer rates, birth defects, and a generation forever marked by the disaster. The land itself was poisoned, unable to sustain life as it once did. The Chernobyl exclusion zone stands as a stark reminder of the devastating power of the atom unleashed, a haunting legacy for future generations to ponder. The world watched in horror. The disaster at Chernobyl, a stark warning about the dangers of nuclear power, a global effort to contain the disaster, to help the victims. Firefighters, known as liquidators, risked their lives to extinguish the blaze, to entomb the reactor. International aid poured in. Scientists, doctors, engineers working tirelessly to understand and mitigate the disaster's impact. Chernobyl, a tragedy that united the world in fear and compassion. Chernobyl stands as a stark reminder, a monument to human error, to the devastating consequences of technological hubris. It is a chilling testament to what can go wrong when safety is compromised, when the pursuit of progress overshadows caution. A call for vigilance, for responsibility in the face of scientific progress. It urges us to be ever watchful, to prioritize safety above all else, to learn from the past and to ensure that the mistakes of Chernobyl are never repeated. The lessons learned, etched in the ruins of Pripyat, in the silent suffering of the victims, these lessons are not just historical footnotes, but vital warnings. They remind us of the human cost of negligence, the lives forever altered, the communities destroyed. A legacy of vigilance, improved safety protocols, international cooperation on nuclear energy. The world has come together to ensure that nuclear power is harnessed safely, that the horrors of Chernobyl are never repeated. A commitment to ensuring that such a disaster never happens again. This commitment is seen in the rigorous safety measures, the constant monitoring, and the international agreements that govern nuclear energy today. Chernobyl, a tragedy that must never be forgotten, a stark warning that echoes through time, the atom, a powerful servant, a merciless master. It is a reminder of our responsibility, our duty to handle such power with the utmost care and respect.